Lots of bugs, and Kabam silent on them for now. We're going to look into some issues players are experiencing. Why did Kabam make this annoying solo event, as a lot of players are questioning the team player solo event and the champions required? Less revives are now in Thronebreaker difficulty. We look into that. That's a bit of a weird one. And Kabam leaving 6 stars and 7 stars on players' account saga. Well, it continues. And if you remember, it was the mythic crystal situation. Well, it's now becoming a bit of a farce. Yes, hello everybody, hope you're doing well, and welcome...
Welcome to Deadpool's head. Now surrounding you in sound. Clearly you're busy, forget I asked.
I'm doing the news show. They need to find out what Kabam are doing right and doing wrong. Right, we're going to get right down to business. So one interesting thing at the moment, well, not interesting, but bugs to watch out. Bugs, things that Kabam have said about, not said about. Noticed a few alliance mates and as well a few other people have well spoken about the fact that they are losing their pre-fights when they're trying to build stuff. Like if you're trying to create a team, you know, you're trying to put Odin in with Hercules, you got your Cosmic Seed with your Gallon. So look, watch out for that stuff. Like watch out for losing those pre-fights. We're probably going to investigate that a bit more in a future video. And a few kind of like bugs, well, a couple of bugs to mention, especially with incursions. Incursions are a bit of a hot topic at the moment. But yeah, there's a bit of a visual glitch at the moment with Zone 13 of Sector 5. You may be kind of like, where's my stuff? Where's the stuff gone? My stuff is gone! Your stuff is not gone. It's a visual bug, as confirmed. We've had a game team dig into these in these cases and confirmed on the back end, and this reward will be granted to account in question despite in displaying an empty box. So yeah, you will still get it. Check your stash. If not, Kabam will kind of give it out as compensation, of course. And as we know, we still got this kind of like problem hanging over our heads where while swapping out champions and legendary incursions, the mode is not removing the previously swapped champion from the selection page. However, selecting the champion who has previously been swapped out will put you into a loop, which will return you to the champ selection page. You will not be able to reuse the champion as intended, which, you know, as Kabam Jack said, yeah, it's unfortunate. We found the bug in the 11th hour. Luckily, it's not game breaking, but it definitely might be confusing for people. So we figured we'd rather communicate it earlier and try to equip people with the information they need to step that confusion. So that kind of at least you puts you in the picture for that. All these kind of incursion bugs. Obviously, Kabam have answered against that one. Now, onto a little bit of a micro story, and a micro story of not an annoyance, but kind of like weird. It's always weird when you kind of like you see these things, you just want to question them a little bit. And that is revive drops on Thronebreaker. So I went through Thronebreaker, obviously posted yesterday the guide on Thronebreaker difficulty. Hope you saw it, hope you supported it. And also had that fun video with Morningstar doing an SP2 and smacking down Vox. I do want to do a kind of a one-shot with that SP2, but I just did it through chance. Just I went in and just thought, I'll just try it Morningstar. But the problem was I had to wait a little. I should have waited a lot longer for the Furies to build. Boom, and then smacking with that SP2. But hey, you know, I was just testing out. I wanted to see what it could do. I didn't know that it'd actually be good. And you know, these funny things happen, and I enjoyed that. But to the point, revives on Thronebreaker difficulty on some of the paths. Do you remember there used to be 2? Now they're down to 1. So there's been like it feels like a slight nerf to this, if you call it that. Look, is this annoying? Not really. Is it kind of like weird? Yeah, kinda. I don't say I find it personally annoying. I just find it weird. Like if Kabam were going on a cadence to go, okay, well one month you get 2 revives per path on X times of it appearing, and the next month it's kind of like, yeah, none, and then the next month it's kind of, well, we'll just put like 1 on the path. Yeah, it's just weird. I mean, I feel that if anything, it should be 2 of the 20% just on a path. That would be nice. But yeah, very weird, because this is the first time since they changed it that now they've kind of changed it back, if you will. I don't know, put thoughts in the comment section about this one. How do you feel about you know, this going down to 1 revive? Do you think it's apt? Do you care? you know, what are your thoughts on this this being kind of like downgraded, nerfed, or well, downgraded really, slightly nerfed. Yeah. Now I just want to move on to this, which is this odd solo event. This is going to be one of the most weirdest solo events I think Kabam have put in. So I started doing this yesterday. As you know, I've covered a lot of the side quest based stuff for the first 2 weeks on the channel before going into other types of guides, opinion based things, and crystal openings towards the latter part of the month. So, it did give me a bit of interest to kind of know, okay, well, there's, you know, different types of solo events for this month. We've got Mountain of Muscles, we've got Team Player, we've got, what's the other one? Going It Alone. A lot of these I've just smashed out because they're just easy to do. This one's interesting, though, Team Player. Team Player I just find a little bit kind of, well, weird, because it's like win fights with Guillotine 2099, or champions that share synergy with Guillotine 2099 to earn points. Now, of course, I've done a guide, and obviously shout out to Misty K, who's done, and also and Aunt May, who I think it's Slugberg behind Aunt May. You know, we do a guide. We do a guide on the channel. We do the spreadsheet, and it looks a little bit like, if it's just kind of like pings up. It looks a little bit like this. So Mr. K put together this. This is fantastic. Shows all the champions involved with the synergies. Now, I have kind of like had to think very carefully about this because, and a lot of you will have to think very carefully about this one, because basically, if you want to do this solo event, you have to be very specific in taking champions in to deal with Alliance Wars and Alliance Quest, but your paths may not actually be beneficial for doing this solo event. I'm sure some people might disagree with that, but it's like, if it's, for example, if you're doing Alliance Wars and you're like, I need to do Path 5, and you're like, well, none of these champions on this, none of these champions here that will deal with Path 5, because there's this champion, that champion, I need a this counter and that counter. Well, none of those are this or that counter. Well, why the heck have I got this solo event? That's alright, I'll just do it in AQ. But I've got a set path in AQ. And I've got there's set champions on that path that I have to defeat. And these aren't good counters for that. So it's a head scratcher, isn't it? Let's go, what's the point of this? One thing that I've been trying to do is kind of take at least 2 champions in, or find effective champions to use in AQ on a regular basis. I think I used Guillotine 2099 in several fights. But you got to do 50 fights. And that's very kind of like, that's a lot over a space of time, because then you have to be like, right, well, how many sites, you have to ask the question like, okay, well, how many in, I've got 26 days. 26 days, what's that? 5 times 6, 5 was it going to be 5 cycles of AQ, 5 times 25? It's possible, but then you have to like go, okay, well, I have to at least do per cycle about 4 to 5 fights. More than that? Yeah, no. That's more than that, isn't it? You'd have to do quick maths, Richard. 12, probably about 13 fights per cycle, maybe 14 in one of them. You know, it's a bit much, isn't it? To kind of like to kind of do that when you're like, I've got to bring these champions in, but they don't work to what I need to do. So it's a bit of a difficult one, and I do kind of like I think next cycle we're gonna have to do another video on this one, just to kind of like hammer home some ideas and just use these champions, which is annoying because I always like kind of using my easy cheesy ones that don't cost me anything, aren't kind of like, you know, are really good. My rank 5s, my rank 4s, 6 stars, you know what I mean? So yeah, a bit disappointed with Kabam on this one. I do think they dropped the ball. Right, now we're going to move on to a very, well, dicey subject. So I've been monitoring this forum thread for the good part of the last 4 to 5 days, and I wanted to do some coverage of it, but I kind of felt we have to really kind of wait to a good point in time where Kabam actually responded, because it's just a very weird situation. So if you remember back a long time ago, there were several players temporarily banned for the issues with opening up those mythic crystals, if you remember. as this player has, done a forum thread and also done a ticket. As I said, due to complexities of the Crystal Champions Crystal Shard were removed, we are unable to provide players with specifics of what was removed as a result of the 1,250 Mythic Crystal reward issue. Having said that, we can confirm that other players who previously had balance of 7 stars, 6 stars or 7 stars Crystal Shards from before any Mythic openings have had their Crystal Shards converted into 6 or 7 star champions. This is because our correction had to balance champion rank ups, duplicate rewards and many other factors along with Crystal Shard balances. As a result, in some cases, Crystal Shards along signature level of the champions were removed in place of champions, which is why the number of Crystal Shards you may have seen incorrect. With that said, we can confirm that the number of 6-star and 7-star shards relative to the number of champions you received were correct after thorough investigation by our game team. This response when the remaining 7 and 6 stars will be removed from my account. So this player is saying that they think their 6 stars and some 6 stars and 7 stars should be removed from their account. This is a very kind of like weird and sticky situation. Because yeah, I think it's more dicey because the player is saying that it doesn't make sense. Someone said to him, it doesn't make sense. No Cav player out there should be able to get enough 7 stars. Most of them got to keep at least one of the 7 stars they got. There's definitely a problem, and why I was asking Kabam to just take away all of the champs and cut their losses there. Maybe give some shards in return, but that should be about it. So there's still kind of like, I don't know, some really weird stuff with this situation where players are still keeping 7 stars. But that's a problem, isn't it? If it's kind of like, yeah, it's just a weird problem. You might be wondering, like, why are we covering this? Well, respect to this player who, went out their way to just kind of like communicate with the community of what they're currently experiencing. Like, they are feeling that them keeping these particular champions isn't a good look. Isn't a good look for how they want to present their account. Yeah, okay, look, regardless of how you thought about and how you think about the Mythic Crystal situation and these people opening up those crystals, and regardless of what you think of those people, the fact is this particular player was basically just saying, like, look, this is a situation. I didn't have to kind of like let anybody know from the community what was going on. But this kind of like, this tale, this saga takes a little bit of a twist and a turn, because I think that particular thread was closed down because I think a lot of people like started falling out. And of course this particular player does go at Kabam on this stuff. And I think that's because some things are missing. If I remember rightly, this player did ask for, like, when they would see their Battlegrounds rewards, which they got suspended during that time, and therefore, receiving the rewards would either be they had run the suspension time, which would then be an issue because it's like, well, if you're suspended, you can't claim anything, and maybe Kabam didn't send out in that particular time. And Kabam did give the indication that they had to wait 24 to 48 hours after being unsuspended to know they are acting like this wasn't said. So again, just like waiting for stuff. But this does look like it's something that Kabam want to handle in private, where the rewards are and stuff. Like Armed kind of like a bit of clarification here says this isn't about if it was right or wrong, it's about updating those who were wanting one and don't know when their rewards are coming. So I put up 300k points legitimately, and I know others put up more. I think it's fair to let them know what's going on, again, about this kind of Battlegrounds rewards that Arm was saying about. And Kabam said, we can't help you if you have no idea what you're talking about. The Battlegrounds rewards, I think it's pretty obvious. And from reading your messages, I'm not going to give you another shot at asking in the forums. Please continue to work with our support team, and if they can't help you, that's the final decision. So I don't know what's going on. And like Kabam was this like very, I mean, look, we know some stuff, we don't know other stuff of what's going on with everything. This is another thread that got banned, or not banned, closed. Sorry, is the right kind of like word on this. Kabam's customer service is going beyond imaginable. They're treating customers very well. Look at this well-known post regarding how they handled the huge exploit of 1,250 mythical crystals with 30k views. Anyway, what amazing communication. Furthermore, I'm pretty sure that they just throw a new terms of service email of everyone. Guys, please make sure to update their terms of service. Unbelievable. Termination from September. Your account can be banned without any explanation. From what I get, and we will cover that in another video, but I think that's about if you data mine, but that's another story for another video. Max has made a video about it. Come on guys, we don't live in North Korea. I don't. This seems like it's going off on a tangent with stuff. That mythic crystal situation is still an ongoing kind of like thing. Some people are keeping their 7 stars and 6 stars, but Kabam should remove them. It's all very confusing, all very weird. We'll leave you on that one for the week, I think, or have a lovely weekend, whatever you're doing. Check out some other content. Oh, and thanks to everybody that subs and to the channel, and as well memberships, Patreons to the channel, all that stuff, and on Twitch and all those things. And yeah, check out some other content located on screen right now. I'll see you all soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye, 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 bye-bye.